Discovery Eco Challenge presentado en parte por Star Alliance.
Es la competencia más difícil del mundo. El Eco Challenge de Discovery Channel. 12 días de carrera expedicionaria. Equipos de 4 personas, hombres y mujeres, midiendo su destreza y su temple contra el reloj y las fuerzas de la naturaleza. A lo largo de 480 kilómetros de terrenos implacables.
You really don't know what's going to happen. So much of the racing is out of your control.
Come on, This isn't meant to be for everyone to finish.
These races truly take people to the breaking point.
Una prueba tanto mental como corporal.
You should see these guys hump this girl up this mountain. I don't think there's anything stopping them. Over.
Aceptar el riesgo es alcanzar la recompensa.
You really don't know who you are, what you're all about, what you can do till you do something like this.
When you finish one of these races, it seems like nothing in the world can ever worry you again.
Contra todas las vicisitudes, estos atletas van en pos de un premio que no radica en la brutal distancia, sino en ellos mismos. El Eco Challenge de Discovery Channel. Camino a la Patagonia. En la Columbia Británica.
We've easily ascended and descended at 100,000 vertical feet.
El interminable interior de Australia.
You'll never see the world the way we see it, the way you travel the country. It's always a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Los altos montes Atlas de Marruecos.
The distances are almost beyond imagining. The hardship is at the very limits of your endurance.
Ahora, el Eco Challenge de Discovery Channel viaja hasta los confines de la Tierra, la Patagonia Argentina. Con peñascos afilados, escabrosos y rocosos a causa del imprevisible clima, los yermos terrenos pondrán a prueba a los competidores como nunca antes había sucedido. Los equipos cruzarán enormes glaciares para alcanzar la columna vertebral de los Andes. Remontando salvajes ríos, los competidores soportarán los inicuos vientos y los helados lagos de alta montaña de la Patagonia. Nuevamente, la carrera de este año hará que los competidores midan sus fuerzas entre sí y contra sus propios límites. La cumbre de una aventura con raíces que se remontan a 3 décadas.
Era uno de esos momentos de la vida que quieres guardar.
Las carreras expedicionarias comenzaron durante la década del 70. En medio del auge de la búsqueda de un buen estado físico, algunos atletas quisieron algo más que una maratón y recorridos de 160 kilómetros en bicicleta. Los neozelandeses tomaron la iniciativa. En 1980, un nuevo tipo de carrera motivó a John Howard a participar.
Took me 2 hours. Now some of the races are 10 days long.
Los eventos deportivos cada vez se hicieron más largos y difíciles a medida que los organizadores agregaban más días, kilómetros y disciplinas.
If you want to test your body and test your mind and compete and finish for the toughest race in the world, in my opinion, you need to look at the Eco Challenge. It teaches you that there's nothing you can't do.
El Eco Challenge lleva a los competidores a alturas prácticamente inimaginables.
The Eco Challenge is a barometer to measure the rest of my life against.
appears that the racers are superhuman, but they're not. They're just a whole bunch of average type guys and gals who want to get out there and have a go. And I think there's a lot of people around the world that really want to do that but don't think they can. And they just need a normal sort of person like me or any one of us to go up and say, well, this is what we do. You can do it too if you want.
Jean Hall habla a partir de la experiencia. Esta bióloga australiana ha ganado un Eco Challenge y en 2 oportunidades ha salido segunda. La competencia atrae atletas de distintas nacionalidades y profesiones, desde bomberos españoles hasta productores de Broadway, incluso una supermodelo británica que ha competido en 11 carreras expedicionarias.
I have a side of me that likes luxury, that likes traveling first class, staying in the best hotels, being pampered and made to look incredible. And then I come to a race like this, where I don't give a damn what I do for 7 days, because it's performance, not appearance, that is the key.
También participa John Howard, limpiador de ventanas, ganador de 2 Eco Challenge.
My goal is to enjoy myself. I don't go out there to win. I think if you go out there to win every time, you're going to be disappointed.
El capitán del equipo ganador del año pasado, Billy Matheson, es guía de parques naturales.
Is really the ultimate adult adventure game. It's almost like you're in a movie when you're doing it. You're chasing people through the mountains and being chased, and it's just a wild time, intense.
Parte de la intensidad proviene de una dura realidad.
Nature in the raw is dangerous, and that danger is inherent in what Eco Challenge stands for. It's an expedition. If we remove that inherent danger, it ceases to be Eco Challenge.
Para algunos atletas, esta mezcla de peligro y dramatismo ofrece la oportunidad de hacer frente a los demonios personales. Mickey Wender, de 29 años, ha venido hasta la Columbia Británica para hacer justamente eso.
Just dealing with my fears on a personal level, that's what I'm getting out of this most of all.
Durante la carrera, docenas de expertos en seguridad brindan apoyo.
Hang on. The best way, you're gonna go with both hands in front of you. Put your foot on the ice like this. Yeah, now just start to go down. Go down a little bit.
I've always, my whole life, had a fear of heights. I remember 10 years old, my dad took me to an amusement park. One of the first times took me on a little ski lift, and it petrified me because we were up above the ground, and I would huddle in the bottom of the thing.
Keep going down, both hands on the rope. There you go. Turn around. Right on. Woo!
En una carrera que nunca se detiene, el ritmo es primordial. Los principiantes tienden a acelerar. Los competidores experimentados saben lo que hacen.
It takes a while for the body to get warmed up. Just start easy. Make sure you know where you're going. That's the #1 criteria.
Atravesando Marruecos, el equipo Bale deja que la carrera avance a su propio ritmo y pasan a ser los primeros estadounidenses en ganar un Eco Challenge.
In the Morocco race, we were 28th getting off the camels. We were 18th at the end of the sea kayaking. And we didn't get stressed. We knew the race was early, and we just kept to our plan.
Los competidores también tienen que ajustarse a la ruta preestablecida. Para asegurarse de que así sea, los organizadores de la carrera incorporan puestos de control de pasaportes donde los equipos deben registrarse. Siguiendo el progreso de los atletas, este sistema sirve para rastrear su ubicación.
as kind of a microcosm of life, and you know, having a goal, committing yourself to the task at hand, and staying focused. My favorite quote through all the training has been, "You can eat an elephant a bite at a time," and I think that's really true with this race. Just keep moving forward, one step at a time.
El paso constante de punto de control a punto de control requiere de resistencia física y mental.
I would say about 80% of it is mental, because what you ask your body to go through is just physically impossible.
There's always points in a race like this when you feel that you have reached your limit, and I guess that's why we do it, because we get to those points and you make a choice, and the choice is you pull the pin, you say, I really can't do this anymore, or you work through it. And I think every single racer, if they are honest with themselves, would say that they reached that point, if not once, then perhaps several times during a race like this. And when that point comes, you say, well, here it is, I'm really tired, I've really had enough, I really don't want to go on. Okay, we've dealt with that, now let's get on with it. And you just do.
Corriendo a través de Australia, Nahoko Hayama de Japón se ha desgarrado el talón de Aquiles. Sus compañeros echan mano a sus reservas.
Hi, you aren't going to believe this. Team Eastwind taking turns carrying their female teammate up Bartle Frere. No lie, over.
El reglamento de la carrera exige tal dedicación. Los miembros del equipo deben permanecer juntos o serán descalificados. Rehusándose a abandonar, los compañeros de Nahoko la transportan a través del pico más alto de Queensland.
ドクターからでいざとなったらこの彼女をお前たちが運ばなきゃいけないんだぞ、できるのかっていう非常に挑戦的な言い方をされたので、挑戦的な言い方に応じてやるという感じでできるさっつって。
そういう気持ちで始めたんですけども、始めてみたらなんかいけそうだという感じがみんなでできてきたんで、したらなんか気分が盛り上がってきて、よしできるところまでやろうと。
You should see these guys hump this girl up this mountain. I don't think there's anything stopping them. Over.
No pueden ganar, pero los atletas japoneses no abandonarán la carrera. Desafiando a la razón, siguen adelante.
なんだろう、言葉なんですけども、倒れて後やむという言葉で、倒れた後すぐ死んでしまうという意味なんですね。これはイコール死ぬまで諦めないっていうネバーギブアップの精神を言っています。
それはどのチームもみんな必ず持ってるドラマなんで、それをぜひとも全世界の人々に、僕なんかの題材を一例としてね、知らせていってほしいと。だからこれはもうエコチャレンジのスピリットだと僕は思ってます。
Al día siguiente, a pocas horas de la línea de llegada, los japoneses tienen que abandonar, vencidos por las heridas y la fatiga. A pesar del impacto emocional, la carrera tiene una sólida base de sentido práctico.
We don't cut the buckles off, we cut the labels off.
You snap the handle off the toothbrush because you don't need that bit. It's just extra weight.
We made a pile in one race of all the little bits and pieces that we were cutting off packs and things, and it adds up to pounds. And if you carry pounds of weight around with you for days, that's a lot of energy.
You're far better off going light and freezing at night.
Sin embargo, los organizadores no quieren comprometer la seguridad. Exigen cierto equipo, reforzados con controles casuales durante el recorrido.
First aid, yeah,
Si falta el equipo, los organizadores toman medidas. En la Columbia Británica, cuando los directivos notaron que los atletas mexicanos no habían traído suficientes bolsas de dormir, el equipo quedó descalificado.
Really? Yes, your mistake. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll completely go home. You continue the journey, you have a nice smile. Next year, you do fantastic.
En el interior de Australia, el exceso de carga casi resulta mortal. Mientras Colin Ward cruza un abismo en Herbert Falls, su abultada mochila lo tira hacia atrás.
If you have a big, heavy pack on your back while you're rappelling, and you go upside down, there's a chance you'll die because a harness that holds you in is only designed to operate when you're the right way up.
Colin queda colgando hasta que el coordinador de seguridad Luke Riley va en su ayuda. El exceso de carga tiende a atormentar a los principiantes. Perderse es algo que todos los equipos temen. En esta carrera, la navegación es la destreza principal. Hasta el más mínimo error puede afectar al equipo.
It's a thinking person's race, so not only do you have to be fast, but you also have to be able to read a map and use a compass and navigate by day and night.
Con su paisaje repetitivo, el terreno marroquí deja perplejos a los competidores. Kurt Bolston es el navegante de su equipo.
It's not easy navigation because there's so much terrain that's similar. It's not like one peak is significantly different looking than the other. So you have to really keep track of where you are. Maybe if we go up one step and then go around the back of that.
Cuando Kurt se pierde, tiene mucha compañía.
We went up there and we were with, I think there was 4 teams that went all the way up.
En la cima les aguarda una desagradable sorpresa. Se equivocaron de cerro.
They were adjacent to each other, and if you picked the right one, then you went to the PC. And if you picked the wrong one, which we did, you went all the way to the top of a really big peak.
El error empeora una situación ya de por sí tensa. Rebecca Rush marca el paso del equipo.
Everybody takes their packs off and passes them down, and we're all spotting each other. I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Desmoralizados, los estadounidenses descienden lentamente por la desmoronada ladera. Hasta los competidores experimentados se desorientan. El equipo Aussie se pierde en el desfiladero Magoon. El episodio pone nerviosa a Jane Hall.
Went over this huge bloody mountain. It was scary. We got caught with the British team. It was the most exposed I've ever been. We must have been about 3,000 metres. And we're trying to find the way to the path. And it was scary. We went over the top of the thing, then around the sides. If somebody had fallen off, I would have killed him. Just so dumb. But we got caught there, at night.
So you can be the fittest team, the best finance team, the happiest bunch of souls on earth. If you can't navigate, you ain't going anywhere. It just shows you navigation skills are a key factor.
El trabajo en equipo es igual de importante. De otro modo, las tensiones de la carrera pueden ser desastrosas. En la noche australiana, un pequeño accidente ha puesto en problemas al equipo de Estados Unidos.
What? What, Terry?
David launched it off a fucking bridge.
Making a comment. Chill out.
Well, you're so selfish sometimes.
Selfish?
Yeah.
Everybody just chill right now.
The successful teams are the ones that are able to pull themselves through and beyond those breaking points. They're able to let go of their egos and say, okay, this too will pass.
It's not a matter of the skill level, it's not a matter of your condition, it's a matter of how well the team gets along and the team dynamics.
I think you get strength from the team, I really do. I've truly surrounded myself with incredibly strong people, and when you work together as a team, you become stronger.
El grupo mexicano se distinguió por su falta de trabajo en equipo. Los gemelos Ernesto y Ramón Rivas nunca se llevaron bien con sus compañeras.
No, there been some arguments.
Stop it.
I know.
The experience, you won't finish.
I know.
If there's an argument, sleep.
I know. We're going to do it after this.
Be flexible.
Yeah.
we're not those kind of type of guys that go with girls and, oh, are you okay, and do you need help? The main reason here is competition, not to take care of anybody.
Cuando a último momento su compañera abandona la carrera, convencen a la estadounidense Emily Johnston para que se sume a su equipo en Marruecos.
Usually I'm the leader of the group and the navigator. That's what I'm used to.
Antonio es, bueno, es muy buen navegador. Y Emily, la verdad es que pues, también sabía navegar, pero quería participar. Y nosotros, la verdad, la teníamos un poco restringida. Decíamos, no, Emily, no nos importa lo que tú digas, nos importa lo que diga Antonio.
Maybe they expected me to just follow along blindly. You know, hey, we're bringing you along, you're the woman, this is our third eco challenge, and we're gonna call the shots. But that isn't the way it works for me. I need to be part of the team. I have to keep reminding them to make some decisions in English, or when they're gonna make a decision to let me know what, you know, because they'll sit there, let's go, and then they'll take off down the trail. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. What are we doing? Okay, where are they going? See, that's what I'm talking about.
Este segmento es presentado por Star Alliance Network, the airline.
Discovery Channel Eco Challenge es presentado en parte por Mastercard.
El equipo México ha estado riñendo durante todo el trayecto en Marruecos, dividido por conflictos de personalidad. En la cima del segundo pico más alto de África, los hermanos Rivas aprenden una lección de camaradería por parte de otros competidores.
Ramon and Esta were so fiercely competitive that they weren't getting that part of it. Florence, on the Argentinian team, she told these guys, she said, look, you need to be taking care of her. She needs to know what's going on. She sort of read them the riot act. That was a turning point.
A pesar del consejo, el equipo México reanuda con recelo su marcha por las montañas.
A few years of maturity until they can grow to become a team that can actually win it.
La competencia pone a prueba el espíritu y castiga los cuerpos.
These races are incredibly hard on the body. People literally drop from exhaustion.
You hurt. You hate to hurt, but you actually love hurting, because that's what this race is all about.
Pain is your companion in these races. Like it or not, he's there. He's there on your shoulder, he's there behind you. He's sort of the devil whispering in your ear the entire race.
Pain is inevitable and misery is optional. That's kind of the motto to go with.
Cada carrera requiere de una caminata de varios kilómetros. Las ampollas son algo sabido.
From my boots, and so I went to the medical guy before.
Terry had some problems with her feet, as we all have. The Band-Aid became a roll of duct tape, and we swathed her entire feet in duct tape, and it worked great. Got her through the race.
We've seen blisters from hell. The blister often gets rubbed raw and burst, and the skin underneath gets exposed. That means that infection can get in. Localized infection will cause pain and inflammation, but in the weakened immune state that an eco-challenger's body goes through, that infection can spread.
Es sorprendente que en 5 años la peor herida haya sido un tobillo roto. Aún así, los competidores superan heridas que traumatizarían a la mayoría de la gente. En un momento libre, Jane Hall ve al Dr. Adrian Cohen, líder del equipo médico.
I realized that I'd done a little bit of damage, but didn't really have time to look at it until the end of the sea kayak leg.
Okay, I've got local anesthetic for you.
It's not going to hurt more than a stitch.
Okay, now I'm just going to point out what I'm doing here, which is very vulnerable. Your foot is right in my groin. Okay?
So if it stings, you know what's going to happen, don't you?
But let me tell you, if you hurt me, I will hurt you. You'll feel me tugging, pushing, but it should not sting like a needle.
La herida de Jane requiere de 4 puntos de sutura.
Well, it doesn't really hurt, but it's just a little rolling.
No todos los peligros son tan obvios. Enemigos invisibles pueden sabotear hasta a los atletas más avesados. En Marruecos, el problema crónico es el agua insalubre.
HQ, this is Team Evolution on Channel 1. That is extremely ill at this point, has been vomiting probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 times in the past 45 minutes. Is having little bits of delirium.
Okay, Team Evolution, we got all that, and the medical is going to come pick you up.
Poco antes de ser asistido, Mike Dreisler se desmaya en los brazos del doctor Adrian Cohen.
At 4 o'clock this afternoon, they stopped for a water break, and as we've instructed all teams, and they know from their own experience, they treat their water with iodine. Although Mike was fairly thirsty and perhaps didn't give the iodine tablets enough time to work.
It's very heavy. Pull it around the side of the window, give me a hand. Hold, hold. Got to peel off.
Mike Trisler, Team Evolution, just learned an important survival lesson in the bush in Morocco. Don't drink the water.
En esta competencia, los peligros del agua cobran distintas formas. En la costa de Berbería de Marruecos, un frío y violento océano derriba a docenas de competidores.
This is quite serious. It seems offshore here. I'm going to hover over there now so you know where to go over.
We have a problem down here. We need this helicopter for an emergency evacuation.
La temperatura del agua es de aproximadamente 15 grados. Tarda apenas unos minutos en dañar el cuerpo. Oleadas de accidentes invaden la carpa de emergencias.
The whole concept of triage comes into play. Who's the most sick? Who needs the most help? Where do you pool your resources?
Es el segundo día de una competencia de 12 días y ya poderosos mares y la hipotermia han dejado a media docena de equipos fuera de combate.
Hypothermia is more than just being cold. When the body can no longer cope, we start shivering. You start shivering to increase the body's own metabolic rate.
Para el Dr. Cohen y sus 12 expertos en emergencias médicas es un día más en el consultorio. En una carrera que nunca se detiene, el cansancio es inevitable. Los atletas se defienden con cortas siestas y largos días. Salteando el descanso, un equipo español ha logrado una ventaja de 7 horas. Pero a más de 2.000 metros, en las montañas del Alto Atlas de Marruecos, un participante es azotado por fiebre, escalofríos y delirio. Alarmados, sus compañeros se comunican por radio con la unidad médica.
Sí, Santiago, soy Antonio de Cepos. Vamos a ver, el problema lo tiene Nerea. El tema es que ha empezado a tener muchísimo frío. Ayer pasó mucho frío y debió de tener pues un bajón de tensión. Y hoy hace un rato empezaba a tener mucho frío, no hacía tanto frío para que tuviera frío y ahora mismo está aquí tumbada. Los pies los tiene ardiendo, ella está completamente helada de frío, está ardiendo y además no conoce a las personas.
¿Pero está consciente o inconsciente?
Semiconsciente. Está en un estado de consciencia, pero vamos,
Los médicos reconocen los síntomas de una peligrosa enfermedad.
Altitude sickness, when it affects the brain, stops you thinking straight. You can't concentrate, you can't make rational decisions, and in the extreme, you can't even stand up. So we go into conditions of decreased consciousness, resulting finally in coma and death.
El aire enrarecido de montaña la ha dejado aturdida y confundida. Su organismo necesita más oxígeno. La cura es sencilla: bajar de la montaña cuanto antes. Cada paso acerca a Nerea a la recuperación.
Was to rest where they were for a while, and when they felt comfortable doing it and she started to respond, to continue walking and supporting her because they were heading downhill.
Si los españoles pueden descender sin ayuda, continuarán en la competencia. Pero Nerea no puede caminar. Tendrán que bajarla en andas por un traicionero trecho de 12 kilómetros. Ya abajo, Nerea se recupera, lista para iniciar el trayecto en bicicleta de montaña de 188 kilómetros.
No, realmente no me acuerdo de nada. Me han dicho mis compañeros que luego me lo iban a contar, que estaba enferma, pero yo no sé lo que me ha pasado. Solo recuerdo estar en el monte, que íbamos al PC25 y además con prisas porque queríamos que no se nos echara la noche encima.
Ayer los españoles disfrutaban de una ventaja de 7 horas. Ahora se han reducido a mucho menos, quizá minutos. Un equipo estadounidense le pisa los talones.
Ya fue de noche con las instrucciones. Una noche horrible. Deambulamos, andamos para todos lados, nos quedamos dormidos encima de las bicicletas, porque eso, habíamos intentado aguantar, pensando que la bicicleta, dices 180, 190, en 18, 20 horas vamos a estar allí.
Pero los estadounidenses avanzan.
And it was intense. It was nighttime, pitch black mountain bike racing, head to head. It took us it was about 15, 20 minutes of just neck and neck riding before we actually got all 4 of our riders past them and pulled ahead.
Los rezagados corren una carrera totalmente distinta. Algunos equipos recorren el doble del trayecto de los vencedores. Cuando sencillamente terminar parece imposible, los atletas pueden perder la perseverancia.
They really think I want to send you guys on without me. Do you want to explain why? I don't feel very good at all right now. Still. Okay. Really hate for you to make a decision like that and then, you know, be fine in 15 minutes or whatever. I mean, there's already been so many times in the race where we all felt really bad, and it passes. Just... You can do this. I know you can. Just, you have to want to.
I mean, it just worries me.
What worries? I didn't get that.
I mean, I was seriously not doing okay and asking for your guys' help and wasn't getting it at all. I mean, thinking back to when I was trying to get on that horse the first time, I guess I'm just a little bitter that you guys were trying to make me go at that point. I should not have been getting on a horse at that time at all. That to me was very wrong.
I was throwing up every 2 minutes. I just personally wanted to put somebody on a horse. If that's done with, I mean, we can't.
I don't think you have our perspective where we've seen a lot more of this. A lot of people that are here have a lot of problems. You just deal with it. And you know, I mean, it's just part of the race.
I know. If we do leave right now, how far is it, or how long will it take us?
What is it, an hour and a half or something to the sleep part?
The vet check.
Yeah.
I'll go there But I mean, I'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll talk about it there, okay?
31 horas más tarde, Lisa Young solicita ser evacuada. Su equipo queda descalificado. En lo alto de las montañas y en última posición, un equipo de Malasia choca con la realidad. Hasta ahora la capitana Yuen Lee Chan y su equipo han hecho pocas escaladas a grandes altitudes.
This kind of rock formation, this kind of mountains are just so unfamiliar to us. You know, we don't have ridges like this, we don't have rock bands and cliffs and mountains at home.
Luego de subir lentamente el monte Magun durante 15 horas, Jin Lee y sus compañeros no compiten ni por la victoria ni por el honor o el orgullo. Simplemente quieren terminar siendo amigos.
Almost. Yes. Closer. Getting closer. Woo! No journey is just a physical one. You journey with your mind, your spirit, your emotions. You journey with friends. You journey together.
La cumbre del segundo pico más alto del norte de África no garantiza que terminen. Les aguardan varios kilómetros de rocas y con la competencia ya casi llegando a su fin, los puestos de control de pasaporte están cerrando. Los malayos se están quedando sin el bien más preciado de un atleta, el tiempo.
9:44. You have 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Yuen Lee y su equipo deben superar el cansancio. Solo viajan acompañados de su perseverancia. Al frente de la competencia, un equipo estadounidense está a minutos de alcanzar la victoria.
Unbelievable, huh? We weren't expecting this.
Les ha llevado 6 días y 22 horas alcanzar la línea de llegada en Marrakech. Junto con el premio en efectivo, el equipo Bale, los primeros estadounidenses en ganar un Eco Challenge, obtienen el derecho a ostentar un éxito casi imposible.
Well, it's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, physically and mentally.
It's funny, during the race you kind of fantasize about winning, you know, you get all emotional and you find yourself going fast through the race. When we finally moved into first, I was like, all right, but boy, I was just so drained at the end. I really didn't have anything left to hug and cheer or cry or anything like that. It was just food, sleep, the basics.
Todos los atletas poseen destreza, experiencia y solidaridad. El triunfo exige más, al igual que sencillamente llegar a la meta. Para los malayos, el trabajo en equipo y la perseverancia tienen su recompensa. Desafiando todas las expectativas, llegan al puesto 25, 1 hora y 18 minutos antes de que cierre.
10:22. How about that? You made it. Yes. Hey, you guys, good job.
The best part about it is that those guys said that we couldn't do it in the
There
time.
you go.
Yeah.
Marrakesh bound.
Yeah.
Pero los malayos aún tienen más de 200 kilómetros por recorrer. 4 días después que los estadounidenses llegaran en el primer puesto, Yuen Lee y sus compañeros cumplen con su juramento, siendo los primeros asiáticos en finalizar un Eco Challenge. Más de la mitad de los equipos llegaron a la meta de esta odisea marroquí de 500 kilómetros. Pero en la Patagonia, ese número podría reducirse en un 20%. El terreno es implacable. El clima es imprevisible y peligroso.
In Patagonia, the weather is going to be a major factor, especially the high winds, high snowfall, and high rains. And the combination of those factors will really, really strip away at the energy of the teams. Tough people will be on their knees crying in Patagonia.
Este segmento.
La Patagonia nunca pierde su capacidad para sorprender. Pero como bien saben los expertos en Eco Challenge, los atletas deben estar preparados para todo. El clima de montaña es inestable. Las tormentas se desatan sin previo aviso. En la Columbia Británica, una tormenta de nieve y granizo acortó la competencia.
Bruce Watson's off the lines for the lightning.
It's bad. It's thunder and lightning, high winds, visibility to about 50 to 80 feet. Over.
Raid or snow, over.
A hail at first, now it's rain. We can't see into the sky at all. It's like we're covered, over.
Los equipos se encontraban en el glaciar caminando a ciegas entre riscos y grietas. La tormenta de nieve detuvo a los atletas. Un neozelandés condujo a sus compañeros faltando 100 metros para llegar a un puesto de control. Con visibilidad cero no pudieron encontrarlo.
Yeah, suggest you hold up for the time being, and if we get a slight break, we'll try and bring you into our location.
Roger, roger. Let's get everything tied down here. We'll put a rope team together. We've got enough flags. We can go out a little ways and just see where they are. Try and bring them in. That's okay. Go ahead.
Horas más tarde, el equipo de rescate localiza a los neozelandeses sobre un cerro.
Good day. Good to see you. Oh, they're doing fine. They're good spirits and they're going to go on.
We knew we were close, but it was a bit steep to play around with in the whiteout.
Ni bien se declaró, la tormenta de nieve se detuvo y se reanudó la competencia. Los neozelandeses no estaban solos en su desgracia. A causa de esa tormenta, la competencia en la Columbia Británica tuvo, hasta ahora, el porcentaje más bajo de llegada a la meta. El clima de la Patagonia podría ser aún peor.
Patagonia offers a wealth of risks for the competitors, from hypothermia and trauma through to the potential for altitude illness, snow blindness, and all the ills that come with glacier travel. You have to be prepared for an environment like this. You take it for granted, and it'll eat you up.
Durante todo el trayecto de 400 kilómetros de este año, los organizadores de la carrera y los expertos en asistencia médica se han preparado para lo peor.
Trauma, and I mean trauma with a capital T. It's a question of when and not if. I expect much more in the way of broken bones than we've ever had before.
Si los equipos quedan atascados en los Andes en condiciones peligrosas, la ayuda podría tardar en llegar.
It doesn't mean we can just show up like the 7th Cavalry. They may have to wait 24 hours. We could have bad weather or too many rescues to perform.
La larga lista de condiciones rigurosas forzará a los atletas a pensar estratégicamente durante todo el trayecto.
Terrain like that, you have to just progress from A to B slowly and just make little steps.
Pero aún, a pesar del peligro, la competencia estará muy reñida.
This race is going to have the very best teams from around the world. There's nobody not going to this next race.
Ganen, pierdan o fracasen, un Eco Challenge se destaca por ser una experiencia sin igual para todos los que participan en ella. Una experiencia que continúa resonando mucho después que las ampollas han cicatrizado y se han vaciado las mochilas.
These races have allowed me to see and explore, tap into a spiritual side of myself that nothing else I've ever experienced has allowed me to do. And that's part of the lure. That's part of what draws me back to do race after race after race.
It's made me realise that you can do things that you never thought you could.
You learn quite a bit about yourself, what you can handle, what you're capable of achieving, accomplishing. It puts things in perspective on the rest of your life.
In the Eco Challenge, after 24 hours, you are who you are, and that comes through pretty clearly.
I feel anytime I'm pushing myself physically and emotionally that hard, that the reward is that much greater at the end.
When you finish one of these races, it seems like nothing in the world can ever worry you again.
En los albores de un nuevo milenio, a la vera del mundo, y mucho más allá de lo que podamos imaginar. El Eco Challenge de Discovery Channel, Patagonia 1999.